sir. First, we have a list of...
What are you signing now, sir?
It's an executive order relating to reforms to the federal workforce, including to the senior executive service.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
If you tender your resignation by next Friday, we will guarantee you payment through the end of September, whether or not you show up for work. So tender your resignation, and then, boy, it's just going to be a gravy train. You're just going to get paid for 7 months without working. The president has no authority to make that offer. There's no budget line item to pay people who are not showing up for work. This is a guy who made this promise to contractors again and again and again when he was a private business guy. Oh, come work for me on my casino. Come work for me in a hotel. We're going to do a handshake. We're going to do a contract. The contractor does the work and then finds out they get stiffed. So my message to federal employees who receive this is, yeah, the president has tried to terrorize you for about a week and then gives you a little sweetheart offer. If you resign in the next week, we're just going to pay you for doing nothing for the next 7 months. Don't be fooled. He's tricked hundreds of people with that offer. If you accept that offer and resign, he'll stiff you just like he stiffed the contractors. He doesn't have any authority to do this. Do not be fooled by this guy. You were here before he was here, and you'll be here after he was here. Show up for work, be diligent, serve Americans every day, make their life better, answer their phone call, give them an answer, track down their constituent call. Don't be fooled by a fake offer that because he's terrorized you in the last week, it would be easy to just resign now and get a check for 7 months, because I can tell you, that promise is worth nothing. And you will regret it just like these contractors regretted it who did work for this guy when he was a businessman.
The federal workforce, which they've looked to do for many years, that if they're working for the federal government, they must show up to the office on time and on schedule. We don't want them. We don't want them to work from home because, as everyone knows, most of the time they're not working, they're not very productive, and it's unfair to the millions of people in the United States who are in fact working hard from job sites and not from their home. As federal employees, they must meet a high standard. They're representing our government, they're representing our country. If they don't agree by February 6th to show up back to work in their office, they will be terminated, and we will therefore be downscaling our government, which is something that the last 10 presidents have tried very hard to do but failed. Most of the people we're talking about have not been going to their federal offices in many, many years, from even before COVID. But they have nevertheless been paid. Some have worked, some haven't worked, and most of the studies say that some have just gone through the motions. We may ask these people to prove that they didn't have another job during their so-called employment with the United States of America, because if they did, that would be unlawful, as you understand. A lot of people are getting paychecks, but they're actually working other jobs, so they'll have to prove that to us that they weren't. In any event, we're requiring them to show up to work or be terminated. We think a very substantial number of people will not show up to work, and therefore our government will get smaller and more efficient, and that's what we've been looking to do for many, many decades, frankly. Thank you. In addition,
we don't think it's on any kind of sound legal footing, in particular, that this notion that OPM has the authority to make these kinds of offers to employees in all these other agencies. OPM really only has authority over OPM's own employees. They do not have authority over the entire federal government.
This is 100% unprecedented. Never before has OPM taken such bizarre actions to contact employees directly and go outside of the normal chain of command of a department. Departments manage their budgets. Departments know what their mission is and how to accomplish that mission. And so why this was sent in the format it is, I have no idea. Other than this was a tactic to scare federal employees and to try to force them to make decisions that are not only bad for them, but bad for the American people. Because while everybody likes to say, I don't need the government until you use their services. And so we really have to put a face to this. Think of all the people that you interact with on a daily basis that are federal employees. They're your neighbors, your friends, doing the work that you rely on them to do. And suddenly they're just gone, not because of any goals for efficiency, but just because they sent a wide net out there and didn't really think this through, trying to threaten people to resign from their positions.
We know from earlier statements and from Project 2025 that they do intend to create chaos within the federal government. They do not seem to care about the millions of Americans who depend on the services that federal employees provide. I think that it's so reckless to just say, come one, come all, resign your position and we'll just go merrily along as if nobody depends on the services of the federal government.
This assumes that federal employees are not necessary. And I take exception with that because federal employees are extremely necessary and provide services that Americans rely on every day.
Absolutely not. We're operating under a continuing resolution right now that expires in mid-March. The idea that they can make promises about paying people for 8 months to sit at home and do no work, but still receive their full salary and their benefits is something that I don't think that they'll be able to deliver on. And it certainly has never been the intent of any kind of congressional appropriation that money they appropriate in order to help an agency deliver its mission to the American people can be diverted to this little policy hijinks that Elon Musk seems to have put together.